Okay, we are good.
And Francis is here, right?
Yes, he is.
Everybody ready?
Yep.
Welcome, Francis, and how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'd prefer if you'd call me Frank. Only my mother and my wife call me Francis when they're mad at me.
Well, I'm not mad at you, that's for sure. Frank,
Okay.
this will be very informal, and it won't take too long. And I'll start with the questioning here now. Do you know what the purpose of the plumbing board is right now?
I know that we evaluate code changes and amendments to the code, and also review the potential apprentices coming into the apprenticeship program. That's about as much as I know of it.
That covers everything. Why are you interested in serving on the board?
Because I've been in the plumbing trade for 30 years, and it's important to me that we keep up the standards that we've had for the time that I've been in the plumbing trade.
Yeah, I know your name from the plumbing, not from the plumbing board, but I know your name from plumbing, okay?
Yep, I've been around a while.
Yes, so have I. Now, the board meets quarterly at 4:30. Are you going to have any trouble meeting these meetings?
No, I will not.
Okay, now I'll pass you on to Marcia. Go ahead,
Thank
Marcia.
you.
Okay, and one of the things we're seeing in the city is a lot of renovations being done. People sometimes not doing it by permit. What do you think the role of the plumbing board should be to get everyone on the same page as far as the things that you know from your experience, getting people up to speed?
Well, I think that, you know, contractors have to be reviewed and see what their qualifications are. I know from previous exposure to the plumbing review board, you know, no one has a problem with a contractor coming in from an outside of the city of Reading, as long as they meet the requirements and have the credentials to be a plumber in the city of Reading.
Mm-hmm. A lot of times what we're finding though is people don't even bring in contractors. They just sort of do it themselves type of thing. Do you think there's any need for more education with people about our plumbing codes?
I definitely think there is more room for education. I don't know where you would start, you know, because a lot of them have the attitude that they'll do anything they can to dodge the system and, you know, do it as they please.
We have, go on, Strat, sorry.
I have a question here, Frank. In the last month or so, we had so many problems with rain and everything else, and a lot of people are having problems with their plumbing. Have you found that a lot of this work that you have to go out and make repairs on was not really worked on by a plumber, but by someone that thinks they know a plumber, and they try to make repairs?
I've seen some of those issues, not recently, but yes, I've seen where you know, drain pipes were sloped the wrong direction, or they used improper connections. There've been a lot of issues where things. I can. I can.
Okay.
So Hani joined us, Strat.
Okay.
Hi,
welcome. We'll give you the first chance. Well, we've already talked to him now. We'll give him to you solely now. You take care of it.
This is our application. This is Frank Foster, who's applying for the plumbing board, Johanny.
Oh, hi, Frank. Good to meet you. Is this a new
Hi,
appointment?
nice-
Is this a new application, new appointment?
Yes, it is.
Oh, hi, Frank.
Hello, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. And you?
Doing well in spite of the heat.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. And I apologize for jumping in this late. Did you guys get started already or no?
Yeah, we were almost completed with the interview, but
Okay.
we didn't know whether you had any questions you wanted to add.
No, I trust my colleagues. I'm always excited when people want to, when they apply and they want to be active in our board. So I just want to say thank you for applying, and I'm sure I'll hear the feedback from my colleagues when we're done.
Well, you're
Okay.
quite welcome, and I'm honored to be part of the Plumbing Review Board.
Well,
Awesome, thank you.
it's good to get people like you, Frank, to come on, and I hope you'll stay on. That's usually the case with this board and some of the other boards, but we have a problem getting people. They don't like, I think they're afraid to apply because of the interviews and paperwork. There isn't that much paperwork, and we try to keep the interviews, very down to earth. And, you are a wonderful candidate. You are a wonderful candidate. And like I said,
Thank you.
I don't know you personally, but I know I've heard of you as a plumber, and all I've heard was good things.
Well, and as I said, I'm honored to be part of the Plumbing Review Board only because I know the other gentlemen who are on the board, and, I look up to all them. They've been in the trade a long time and are very knowledgeable, and they're also very dedicated.
Okay. Anybody else?
No,
Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to talk about the process of what happens next.
Well, go ahead. I was going to do it, but go ahead, Marcia.
Okay, so what we will do is bring this back to the committee for a vote. Then we will vote on the appointments at our next city council meeting, which is next Monday. So you'll be notified after that meeting.
Okay, and you'll notify me by email?
Shelley, is that how we notify?
You'll get a packet through the postal service.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll watch for it. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you,
Oh,
Frank.
certainly. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to contact me.
Sure thing.
Okay.
Have a
Okay,
good
let's-
afternoon.
Right. Is the other candidate in, Shelley?
No, he's not due until 4:30, so we'll have some time to do the policy, I
Oh,
believe.
my. We were a few minutes late. I thought we'd make it up with the first candidate, but
Okay, so Strat, the next thing on the agenda is for Elizabeth regarding the background process.
Okay, I'm not sure if everyone got a copy before the meeting today, but we can just go over it. Does everyone have a copy in front of them?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So the purpose of the policy is to provide guidelines for city boards, authorities, and commissions requiring background checks. And those that require background checks are those where members will have direct contact with children and/or students. The objective of the policy is to ensure protection for children from abuse and to ensure their well-being consistently and in accordance with established requirements. And then I have a number of bullet points here. We're just discussing here, this is just a draft, so if anyone has any ideas, they'd like to see something else in here, please let me know. But we've been discussing this. There are two standards. There's the Child Protective Services Law, and then there's school code. The Rec Commission is sort of a joint venture between the city and the school district. And for school code, if an applicant submits to a criminal background check and there are any of the indicated offenses that are in the statute, Under school code, they would not be permitted to participate if any of those offenses, the convictions were within the past 10 years. Under the Child Protective Services law, it's 5 years. In this situation, yes, go ahead.
Did you say 20 years?
No, 5 years under Child Protective Services law and 10 years under school code.
I'm sorry.
Okay. And then those offenses are enumerated in the Child Protective Services law and the school code. And so what I'm proposing is, because Child Protective Services law allows for a stricter standard than the 5 years, my recommendation is that we go with the 10 years since conviction. I feel that given the importance of this issue, it is better to err on the side of caution. There are 3 background checks that are required. The first one is the Pennsylvania Child Abuse History Clearance, Pennsylvania State Police Criminal Records Check, and then the FBI check, which involves fingerprints. My understanding is that we have been doing those for library and rec commission. We may want to take a look at all of our boards and commissions and find out exactly if there is direct contact with children involved with membership in any of those boards and commissions. So we can look at that, and maybe then we can have an exhaustive list of which boards and commissions require these background checks and what the standards will be. So I have a few questions at the bottom. Just for the council to consider. I have not run this by the administration as of yet. I thought we would get a sample or a draft policy ready here, and then I would present it to the administration, get their input, and then hopefully we would be able to put something forward. I'm not sure, Shelley, would this be a policy like this? Would this require a change to the council policy handbook? Would this be something that would be put into the code?
The background process is not in the code. It's a office policy, so it's not really in the code, but it would update the handbook because that's where we put all of our office policies. So that would have to change.
Okay. All right, very good. And then I think in the past, we've done these background checks later in the process, in the nominating, the